Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, I was out yard sailing last week and I came across a house that was cleaning up. He was a small engine mechanic and he was kind of cleaning up his shop, retiring, and he was in the process of emptying this toolbox out that was in the corner of his garage and putting stuff out on tarps outside. I asked him what he was going to do with the toolbox. He said that's going to go up for sale also. And I took a better look at it. It was a snap-on toolbox. I think they call these an airport box, hence the fact that you wouldn't kind of stuff it against the wall because you wouldn't have access to the other drawers, and there's a cabinet on the back side over here. And it's got decent wheels on it with like suspension, it looks like goes on them. And the idea why they call them, I guess they call them an airport toolbox, is that at an airport you don't bring the plane to the toolbox, you kind of bring your toolbox to where the plane is, for obvious obvious reasons. And so I said sure, I would like to grab that. It's got a little decal on it right there. 1920 to 1980 is what it says. So I would guess the date of it is a 1980. So it's going to make it about 44 years old. It's got a bunch of issues. None of the drawers, half the drawers, are kind of bound up, don't slide, jammed where they are. Like where these are stuck out, they are stuck out there for a reason. This stuff is falling apart on them. The strips are all busted out of them. And yeah, it's missing keys. Somebody punched a lock on that one. This one is in the open position, but there's again no key for it. And then it has a little storage area back here, a little cabinet that is locked, but does not have a key also. So who knows if there's anything in there? Probably not. Yeah, he had it stored against the wall, so that cabinet wasn't being used. Well, I'd like to be able to put it back to use as something that can roll around instead of me always having to huff stuff from the shop. Is fairly decent size, from over there where my toolbox is to either outside the door or over here or wherever. So paid $100 for it. I think is a steal. Hopefully we'll find out as we get into it, but I'm gonna do like I don't know, you want to call it amateur restoration, but kind of want to go through it, repair everything before I start filling it with tools, and see how that goes for us. Looks like I had a vise mounted, or a couple of vices mounted on it at one time. I'm gonna look to see if I have one to go do the same, but I kind of want to clean it all up, maybe paint it, and bring her back to her former glory. Let's go move it over to the other section where the work area is and start disassembling it and see what we got. Maybe there's a prize inside that back corner. Doubt it. And it's what I use for a toolbox now, which works awesome, but again, it's so much weight in it. And the wheels that I put underneath it, you can't roll it. Those tires are all flat spotted out, and it's got to weigh 3,000 pounds. It's like a shop or like an industrial cabinet, and it works awesome because really nice slider roller drawers on it. I painted this one up, I don't know, about 10-15 years ago when I brought it home, but you can see by how much it's loaded up, it functions awesome. I'm not even touching the drawers, but again, its problem is it's not mobile. There's some of the old tags. Mac valves, I guess, were in this drawer. And then you can divide the sections up very well on this with these little dividers. You can move them all around and chop it all up. And I have a whole bunch of those down below the cabinet, a bunch of those dividers. So that's kind of what she looks like. But enough of that one. Let's go back onto our other toolbox. So it looks like I got some information on the back over here. Let's see if we can color it in. And we'll wipe it off, see if it leaves it kind of like a imprint. I don't know if that hot flare hurt us. Yeah, there you go, you can see it. It's got a date on it. Yeah, right there. Looks like model KR562A. And snap-on toolboxes, looks like 1979 is the date, and then it's got a serial number underneath it. I think it's 1618777. So yeah, 44 years old. That seems like it's holding up somewhat decently. Let's see if that holds true. All right, let's go see if we can work on getting that little cabinet over there open first. Yeah. So it's probably got like a latch that goes up and down. It holds the both of them. I don't know if you can bow it enough to get past that. Get fix it after. Come on. Yeah, what if we can maybe reach behind it and unbolt the linkage right here? Let me see if I can take a peek in there sideways. Yeah, it looks like it's... I don't think we're going to be able to turn it though because it's still in the locked. I wonder if we could spin that nut off right there on the lock and let it come outward. See if the whole lock would turn for us. Let me go grab a little wrench on there. It's also looks like a screw on the end of it right here, but we're not going to be able to get in or anything on that. Guys got like a bird's eye view. I have a feeling it's going to be keyed to the sheet metal though, you know. The lock itself will have like a square flat on it. But it might give us enough play to work with. Yeah, maybe get like one side out and then the other. And let it lay down. Alright. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I don't know if we could bend the upper one out. I don't know how far up they go into a lock in either, you know. There we go. That's one side. We'll bend it back when we're done. Let's do the same for the bottom. Actually, now that I got it so far open, I could probably get the screw on there and take that screw out of there. I'll do that. Definitely make a crappy safe cracker, that's for sure. I think that's kind of a generic lock that is on there. But you might be able to switch the lock over for, like, go to Home Depot and grab cabinet locks. I'll lift up on that one. We're in. Nothing to see here, we'll fix that. No problem. Let's go see if there's anything in the cabinet. What do we got? Then a whole lot of nothing, yeah. Washer was like a hole drilled in the center, you could have put a screwdriver in it. It looks like it goes around a corner to that section. Yeah. You know, like already for like your aerosol cans, there's a tag here. What's this? Huh. Not sure. 1987 is the date on it, so it's not part of the cabinet. Looks like it's got magnets for something. Oh, for this. Probably holds that door closed. Alright. We're in. Is this screwed together? Ah, it's riveted. Too bad it's riveted, huh? Gotta take them right off. I think I might steam clean the thing too. Let me fix up that linkage. Take a look at that lock real quick. Yeah, so we only really need to use this part of the linkage over. We should be able just to kind of manipulate that back into like it never happened. It's pretty soft. Good? Oh, goodness. That one's bent. Are we good? Yeah. Let's go get that lock out of the door. Alright, let's see what we got. Yeah, I think it's just like a regular lock with the that keyed shaft that's on there. We can get probably a different one. Probably clean that up and find out what key it takes too. Order one. J24L. I think I have some of these around somewhere though. And it looks like somebody kind of put a bend to that door at some time. At some time recently in its life. So you can kind of get rid of that. I tell you, it's pretty soft. There's not much on here that's got some I would have suspected more. Perfect. Like it never happened. So the next thing is see if we can get some of the drawers out of it. And I think they have, I think you're supposed to stick like some kind of feeler gauge or something down on the sides to help these clasps, or possibly you might be able to get behind them with a pick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these little tabs right here, these little spring tabs, what they'll be is they'll be like a shaped like bump out in the metal. So one way it allows it to go on, then when you try to pull the drawer back out, it like locks onto it. Let me go see if we can shove like some, I don't know, maybe like a feeler gauge or something in there. See if we can get that tab to rescind. Yeah. Once we figure it out, it should be go pretty quick. The first one's gonna fight us a little bit though. Let's go to my feeler gauge section. We should probably get, I have a feeling the problem is we're gonna have to grind something a little thinner. That's not gonna do it for us. What if I have a sacrificial, like crappy ones, we can kind of do that too. Let me hunt a little bit. I don't want to break any of these sets up. Now, before we cut up a feeler gauge, just see if a regular one will fit in there. I think the problem is like this track right here, if you're looking at it, kind of looks like an I-beam. This has to be able to fit down in between there, and it can't. Let's see if we can, it'll do anything though. Let's see if we can get it to where the thing is. Yeah, because you have to get the feeler gauge past. Will that do it? No. You have to get the feeler gauge past where the little hump is. If I had x-ray vision, we can kind of see what's behind there. Yeah, I think we're going to just take one, just grinding it thinner. I don't know if I have any spring steel that we can kind of go use. Actually, one of the drawers are kind of busted up. Let's go look at that one first. On the other side, it's like the rivets are blown out on it. Maybe we can take a peek behind it. Yeah, this one's kind of busted up here. Wonder if we can get this one. There you go. So there's the tab. This one's actually missing the little spring piece that goes on it. There's the tab that we have to try to get the spring that's on there. You would think if we get it that far though, right? It should work. I'm going to modify this guy a little bit. I'm going to do some grinding on it and maybe put a second bend. I wonder if you're able to get it like something like that, where it gives us the speed bump to get over it. Again, until we get one of those springs out. I'm going to take a quick peek at the other side. Yeah, it's pretty much the same scenario. We got the problem is this is getting bent flat and it's just running into the end of that tab. There's no place for it to go. Let's grind off, I don't know, 1/4 inch on each side of that, taper it. Let's go measure how far back that one is so we know. Right, from the edge of the drawer, roughly 9.5 inches. We'll mark it on the other side so we know what we're kind of working with. Right, so 9.5 from there. Just put us right about, it should be right there. And now let's go try to shove our tool in there. And it fits in that track now. So we want to back it up a little bit, get past the bump, right? I have to grind it a little more and bind it again. Yeah. I think we got the right idea. We just got to make a little bit more room right here. All right. That should be it. There we go. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Let's go take a peek inside first. Now that we can see a little bit lower into the bowels of the box. A lot of times too, stuff falls behind the drawers. Maybe we'll find a prize going down later on. So the back latch is in there. That's a good sign because this one's missing the lock in it. And if you're gonna be rolling a toolbox around, you got to make sure the drawers lock in place, right? All right. So Yeah, maybe. They're all really gooey. So let's do the same. I'm gonna probably number the sides of the drawers as we take them out. There's any prizes in there. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait. All right, so I'm gonna number the drawers so I know where they kind of came out of. Start getting them out one by one. We'll stack them to the side and we'll see what the back of the carcass looks like. I see a baggie. A couple of baggies. Someone's stash or what that is. Let's get the last two out and we'll see what's hanging out in there. Let's see what we got. Underwhelming. I don't know what that is. Pinstriping? Huh. Oh. Body plugs? That was kind of boring, huh? I was hoping for like a nice set of snap-on something or other. No dice. There's the thing for the lock, the cam. Let's go work on the other set. Let's go over there to get them out. See if there's anything over here. I might have found some money. What we got? It's already getting paid for. 26 cents. Look how the inside of this looks. I don't see too much beat up. I mean, a bunch of the tracks are just bent and smushed. And I think what happens is one side fails, like that side wasn't attached. So over the course of using it, it got whacked and bent, and every time the drawer fell out, and then it doesn't slide anymore. It just goes to hell. Yeah. We got a couple of them that are messed up. What if we can flip them over? Like, where's the one? The worst one was this one, right? This one right here. Or if we could take it out and put it over on that one, so the top is the bottom's the top. That one's got a big bend in it too, right there. That's showing up. I don't know. I don't think I have any other Snap-on toolbox you can steal them out of. Actually, I think. Wouldn't you think like Snap-on would have a lifetime warranty on this stuff? So let's go clean off the junk on it. I'm gonna go fire up the steam cleaner, and I think we should just really just give it everything, clean everything out of it. And if we want to paint it, we gotta get rid of all the crap anyway, right? To get all the grease and everything off of it. Let's go do that. What's this that's on here? Looks like somebody glued something at some point. Yeah. All right, we're in. Not too bad. The drawers are not looking, they're dirty again. 40 years of using them, probably never got cleaned. going to do the same to all the drawers, get all the scuzziness. It's been sitting on them forever. Basically what I'm trying to do is get all the grease off of it because we're going to do paint. That's going to kind of affect it. So I know we'll just re-grease everything. Starting fresh. And plus we get rid of all those kind of nasties that are in there too. So I'm going to go line them up on the forks, wash a bunch of them out, and we'll let them all dry up. Actually should dry fairly quickly. Thinking that they're getting superheated like that, right? Hey guys, it's actually the next day. I kind of let it sit with the ceiling fan up above, blowing it out. I hit it with compressed air too before I left for the evening, and you can definitely see where it took all the probably there was like a wax or something in it that the heat was able to get off, and that's kind of what I want. I want to try to strip all the greases and oils off of it. I'm looking at it. I probably should get rid of all of these and get them out of our way because we're gonna have to kind of restore those. I went trying to shop for them last night and they're stupid expensive, like 50 bucks a set, and it's a $100 toolbox. So I think they might even be reversible. They might be the same thing both directions. And as you can see, if you look at it, they're like, this one's curved up, but this is curved down, curved down. I wonder if we could take them out, possibly flip them over so the worked side, which is usually this outside edge here, is now going to be in there, and you might be able to survive a little bit better. Plus, you know, we can take them out. We're going to try hammering them and bending them back into submission. That one's got a big kink in it. This one's missing the end rivet. Probably could put a rivet or weld it back together, but they need to be addressed. So I'm going to work on getting all those out of there, and then maybe we'll start getting into try to figure out what we're going to do for paint on it. Oh, we can get that. There's that. That one's off. I just got pins on it. Let's see if we can get the handle off of there too. But I went shopping and I picked up a couple of goodies. I got some primer. This paint is supposed to be primer and paint together, and I think it's what I painted that toolbox with a long time ago. Either that or it was safety red, I'm not sure. And I grabbed 3 matching lock sets, and hopefully we can get it, you know, all the locks working and keyed again too, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. Let me get all the slides out of it, and then we'll look into maybe taking one of the drawers. We'll throw some paint on it and try to work with painting stuff. While that's drying, we can work on, you know, repairing other things during that time frame. So I'm gonna go knock these out, get them out of here, and I don't know, maybe we'll start with a drawer for paint and see how it holds up, how it looks. Yeah, it took all about 5 minutes. Now that I know the pattern, how to get them apart. Some of them are a little more difficult because they have, like, the drawers have been slammed so much that the tab got bent over so far you couldn't get the tool to go behind it. So I had to kind of like smash them with a hammer on top, got them to lay back down again, and able to get them out of there. You can see how beat up they are. Like, so this one's straight, shows you how much of a bow this one has in it, causing, you know, probably leaning on the drawers, there's just too much weight in the drawers over time. So my thought is if we're able to flip them over or flip them from side to side, after we get whatever bend we can out of them, we'll just kind of favor them so they face uphill instead of downhill. Not sure how that's going to work out for us. And then you see, like, you know, this one, the tab is broke. You see how much it's been rubbing on the inside of it. Plus, we'll probably put the best ones on where it works, where most of the work is, which is going to be that, you know, this main section here, and the ones that are on the side will make that the lesser used tools. So I got the handles off of it. I want to get this off of here, but there's a frame. Where'd the light go? Got the light. So I do not see any hardware back here going through in that channel to be able to unbolt it. I don't know how that comes apart. Let's try pulling the grips off the edge and maybe there's something inside. Even they don't want to come off. God, here we go. Anything? So there's a screw. How would you get that in there? Ah, it comes apart. There you go. So this half and this half come apart somehow. Maybe it slides out of itself. We get the cap off the other end. We'll try tapping it one direction and see if it'll slide across. don't know about getting the chrome off the corners. I think it's better off just taping it, or you want to try to get it off of there. Well, let's try, this corner's beat up a little bit anyway. Let's try peening this lip off of here. I have a feeling it's probably like two-sided tape though. I might make a mess out of them. And get a better screwdriver. I can't see it. I can't see them relying just on that little edge holding the whole thing, right? I think we're going to make more of a mess out. Let's just leave them alone. We'll just tape that off. Yeah. So I say we try a little experiment, because I'm not... The red paint says it's paint and primer in one, but I don't know how good of a coverage it's going to have, especially like, it's like bare edges and that kind of thing. So let's go grab the handle. We'll prime one, and then we'll just paint them both red. We'll see if there's a big difference. I got to sand a bunch of stuff too anyway, but let's go for some red. Leave that for the first coat. How long do you think before I go over the primer? I'm going to let it set up for about a minute or two. I don't know if it's dry or not, but let's give it a shot. Let's give that a second coat. Just experiment. Alright, we'll let that dry up a little bit. We'll see how transparent it is. So we got like 2 red coats on that, and a primer, and a coat and a half. Let them set up, we'll let them cure, and we'll come back, we'll see which one performs better. I'm kind of seeing some, like, I don't know if it's showing up. Let me grab it. You can almost like see through it a little bit. Again, they haven't been prepped or nothing, but, and that one's, you know, you can still see the primer through it, but I have a feeling we're probably going to be going with primer. I'm going to maybe hit them with a heat gun, try to dry them up a little bit, get one more coat on them, we'll make a final decision from there. That one, I'm hit them with a heat gun, and that's the one with primer on it, that's the one without. I don't see much of a difference. I see that actually the finishes looks a little smoother on the one without. But I think bare metal is going to kind of pop through a little bit. And we have the primer, so maybe we'll do like, I don't know, we'll do the body of it with that. And then we'll worry about the drawers by themselves. They had a bunch of different like failures over the years, little keepers that are in it. You can kind of see like, this is supposed to be like a nipple that stops the track from going, and you see that one wore away, that one wore away. They put rivets on that one. A screw was put in there to stop the slide from falling out. So, same on the other side here. You can tell the drawers that were used more. And the little tabs are beat on it. So maybe we can kind of do the same thing. Maybe rivets might be the best way to go to fix these after. We'll deal with that after. And this is the lock for the drawers. You turn the key in, it grabs all the drawers in the back so that when you're transporting it, like I said, they don't want to go open up. So let's get the lock out of the other side. Still got one of these still left in it. Get rid of that. I'm going to run around with some, probably just sandpaper in the hand. We'll just kind of knock off some of the rough stuff, take some of give it a little bit of tooth. Then we'll mask the box up. See how much the drawers chalked out. We'll mask the corners of the box, we'll put it on the forklift, and we'll bring it over by the door, and we'll spray it over there up in the air so that there's white cars in here. I'll tell you a story in a little bit about painting something red. Alright, so let me get that all knocked out, and I'll get you kind of caught up, and we'll get some paint on this thing, and while this is drying, we can start setting up on the drawers maybe. Got a couple of sheets of old 220 laying around. Let's go try that in a palm sander. I think that should work. Plus I get to use up that old sandpaper too. We're gonna run around, mask up. I'll take care of all that, blow it off with air, and we'll bring it over to the front of the garage and here with some paint. I had a vise over here, but it's all pulled up. Let's see if we can knock out maybe some of these dents here. There's a channel right here, so there's 2 layers of metal. So I got it masked off and I tacked it off. It basically just took a rag, a wet rag, kind of took all the dust off of it. I think I'm going to leave these shut. So I don't know if I want the primer inside there and then trying to have to make it all red afterwards. Plus I don't know where I'm going to run out of paint. So I figure we'll prime the outside of it. We'll shoot the outside of it red. And then like later on, once all the drawers and stuff are done, maybe we can kind of come back and if there's any like gray overspray or like funky spots that we don't like, we can kind of touch up later. But for now, I think we're just going to go and prime totally outside of it. You get the idea. I'm going to go mask up and paint her up. The coverage of the primer is pretty good. One can, there's still a little bit left in it, but one can was able to do the whole box. So that's decent. Hopefully the red gets about as much coverage, but probably not because we're going to be hitting it twice. Like I said, I was trying not to spray into here because then we'd have to paint all this stuff red too. So my guess is we'll shoot it red and then like whatever mist is left over, we can kind of like, maybe just kind of cast in there. I don't think you can see it. Well, then drawers are open, you'll see this part, but not this back in here. See, it's going to be the same issue with the drawers, right? Paint the fronts of them and the overspray. Yeah, maybe we won't use primer on these. Maybe we'll take like a towel or something and lay it over the tops of them as we're doing them. Yeah. Worry about that when we get to them, right? All right, I'm going to throw a fan on. Let's kind of set for about 10-15 minutes to cure. And let's go shake up a red can and see how that does. Well, it says the top coat immediately or within an hour or after 24 hours. So just go give her, it looks like the shininess went away. So let's just go real light. And we'll hit it. We'll let it sit for 10 minutes. and we'll give it a second coat. I'm not looking for coverage, I'm just looking to try to get some bonding to it. So I'm going to do that all the way around, and that's kind of my light coat. I'm going to go all the way around like that, and then by the time I get back to here, I should be able to do a nice heavy coat on it. We'll see how far we get with the cans. And I used up pretty much a can on the first, but again I went light. I think the second one will soak it pretty heavy, but it's already looking decent. Definitely it's a much brighter red than even the other toolboxes that I have, but that's okay. I don't mind. It might even darken up over time too, right? Alright, so I'm going to go hit that a second coat, and then we'll probably open those doors, and whatever we see that looks ugly, we'll just kind of mist in and make it look pretty. So I've gone around twice. I see a little bit of what's called like tigering. It's light, dark, a little bit inside there. I'm not quite sure my imagination or not, so I think I want to give it one more coat. But let's open it up and give that inside a little shot. These little edges here. It's not going to slam, is it? Let's just go pretty this up real quick. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we just kind of dust some in on the edges. I did one last third coat, but I went this direction with it, try to help with the tigering. You still see on this side where it's kind of like wet and dry a little in the light. Hopefully that settles out. I'm gonna go find out shortly, I guess. If not, it's getting another coat. Probably do clear over too, but it's a toolbox. So we're starting to get carried away. All right, so we'll let that dry up. And I'm probably gonna ship this out of here, or maybe we'll use the forks to try setting the drawers up to get them done. I think I'm about 4 cans in, so I'm probably gonna have to go pick up a couple more for the drawers. You know what the best part is? You get to do this. Supposed to say voila when you do it. It's like a drawer factory. So yeah, I just laid towels over the back side of them and cast in primer on the front because there's a lot of bare metal. And on the other side, what I did after I was done, I just kind of cast some red paint inside them to clean up, you know, the look of that. I'll show you what I mean later. I'll do the same to this side, but some of them are pretty beat up, just so that looks a little bit prettier. Hey guys, it's like 6 months, 7 months in the future. I'll explain to you kind of what happened, why there's such a long time frame difference. So I contacted my local Snap-on dealer. He stopped by, and apparently the drawer slides, the ones that are all beat up, have a lifetime warranty. Well, unfortunately, he wasn't able to find any of those. I'm not quite sure how that works out with a lifetime warranty and you get a new toolbox. Well, apparently I didn't. He tried the best he could. He even went on eBay, tried to find used ones for me, and wasn't able to do so. So that process took like 2 or 3 months of him trying to chase everything. And of course the toolbox got pushed to the side, and started working on other projects. But I brought it forward. I kind of want to finish it, do the best I can with what we have to work with, and get it to be a functioning toolbox. So I worked with the drawers that are in the front. You can see that I had enough slides to do this section of it, which is the bigger drawers. All those seem to be in pretty good shape, other than having to fix a couple of tabs that the tracks stop on, and also got a lock set up, because none of the locks are any good, set up so that we can lock the drawers, which they are, because this thing rolls around, where you open them and then they're all free. So I left the two drawers out on top to finish with that lock assembly. So maybe we're going to go continue on, and we'll do the double doors in the back. We'll get a lock set up working on that, and then all the slides that I have left over are all beat up, and we'll work on this section, which my thought was they're smaller drawers, so they probably won't be getting used quite as much. So, but we still have to go through, and if we have to build something else, if we find that we really have a hard time getting the drawers to work properly, then we'll do so. Okay, here's a bunch of those slides. Again, it's 6-7 months later, so I have no idea what I did and did not show, but you can see they're pretty, a lot of them are pretty crisp. Some of them that are split in half, and you know, so we'll do our best to try to repair these, try to get them so that they're not so, you know, lumpy looking and functional. Good thing though, paint's all nice and dry. Don't have to worry about smudging any of that. All right, let's get you in the sand. Let's get the toolbox flipped around and start working on those double doors. All right, let's open that up. And I think most of this stuff just goes on the left-hand drawer over here. It has a couple of rods that went through the center of it, and then a pivot in the middle of it. So let's go look. I grabbed some new lock sets that are all keyed the same, so you don't have to have different keys for different locks. And they're kind of these packet styles. I want to see these are it, and again, all the keys I tried to get were of the same number, all 604. Got more of it here. Some of the old stuff is in here too. So let's go grab where's the knuckles that were in there, the little, let's go find this stuff, and we'll work off of what was there. You remember how it went? I sure don't. You got 50-mile-an-hour winds going on outside. So I would say, actually probably like that, right? We need the recess for the lock, room for the lock. And they're meant not to pull all the way out so they fall. Kind of looks like it just went right in the center of the, something like that, and like that. Let's go pick a lock up, and I think it kind of looks like the center without the cam. A lot of them have like a cam that goes in the middle. I don't think, was there even a lock when we took this apart? Alright, so we got the center out of that. They have like little cans how much throw it has on the ones that are on these locks. You could change them, change the positions of them. Normally you put this stuff on it and they lock in a different kind of setups, different profiles. A long one. But I think we need to go something like that, but we're going to need the cam because we have to make it so that the resting point gone forever. Where'd you go? I'll steal one out of the other one. Actually, there's different ones too. That one was a quarter turn. This one's half turn. How much travel it's allowed to do. And then we can go put that on top of it. And then this lock washer and the set screw. Put them all together. And along with that we have a washer that goes over the base of it. And then a big nut that locks everything together. So let's get this part assembled on it, and we'll figure out where we want for the key, and then we'll figure out what cam we need for that. Here's that quarter turn one. So we want it, right now, the key straight up and down. We want that the locked position, and that to be the unlocked. We can take the key out and it should stay. So we want to go down there. From that to that. Yeah, let's go get the rest of the hardware. So let's get that washer set up. So that is the locked position. And you can't see you can see the one on the bottom. That should be it, but not allow it to fall out. Unless it's that second grooves for. That looks easier than expected. I shouldn't say anything. We haven't closed the door yet. Let's give it a shot. That is locked, so you want. It doesn't turn at all. It's all bound up. That hardware is too fat. I gotta get rid of something. I don't know if it can go that easy. It's like off a hair. Ah, I see it. There's little bumps. These little bumps. I guess it had a different setup. There's little nipples on the back there. I wonder if we can get rid of the cam and that would work by itself. Let's try that. If not, we'll grind them off and just use that cam that's built into it. And we're getting rid of them. Alright, see what we've got this time. Get the key out. Can I get the key out? Let's try it. Let's go see if we can find the handle. There you go. I'm gonna go polish that up real quick. I don't know if it's got a clear coat on it or not. It might. Looks pretty good. It's not going to fix the pitting or nothing, but just got a polish on it now. And good. Smudgies. All right, let's go on to the sucky part of the box. Not sure how well you can be able to see the lock on this one, but it's got like a dog leg that comes out, and that flips 180. You can see the back where the track is going up and down. So I learned on the other one it has to go all the way 180, so there's not much weight hanging on it. It can kind of stay by itself, and then it flips back. The I don't even want to call it that. I'll grab something. This thing so it goes on the inside, and it has a hole in the center of that it laid over the top of, and it flipped 180 around, and it locked it. Pull the key out and it locks it in the up position, and again it goes all the way down to lock the drawers. That one was pretty cut and dry. The problem is you can't get, let me open a pack. Let me bring you up top of the toolbox. So when this is all together, you have to be able to get the lock up and in through that hole and then put this nut on. But the problem is you cannot attach the tab while it's in there. There's no room. There's like a square channel inside here. So let me get my lock put back together before I lose all the pieces. That's what's on the inside. It's got a bunch of, heck what they're called, tumblers that lock into a place. And when you put the correct key in it, you'll notice that they are all even on both sides. When you take the key out, you can see how they kind of grab the square of the barrel from turning, and each key's different to make it, you know, you put a different key in there, there's gonna be some that are hanging up. That's how it knows which one's unlock. Anyway, so this has to be off for the lock to be able to go through the hole with a tab on it. See, like this is screwed on to the end of it. So for this assembly, does that not fit? Get another one. One of you gotta fit. There you go. So for this assembly to fit through the hole, you can't get behind it to put the screw on there. There's just no room. I'll show you in a second. So this is impossible. Like, you can't bolt it together and then put that tab on there, and you can't put this through there and then try to get that on there, because it's not enough room for that to happen. So what are we going to do? Funny you should ask it. We are going to take and grind slots in here, and we're going to go with like a looks like a horseshoe clip that you get the assembly in place, and then you put a horseshoe clip in from behind and it locks it into place. But these weren't designed for that, so we're going to make it fit. And I had to do it for this lock, so I might as well disassemble this one. You'll get an idea what I'm talking about. Come on. There you go. So that's the assembly that we need to make, like that, and then that's how it locks it together. And we need to make a tab that looks something like that, but it gets worse. I'm gonna try to get you on light right. So if you see that rod that's in there, it goes back, I want to say, 1.5 inches on that one, which is plenty for that lock. It lines up just right for that lock. But this one, for some reason, is much closer. So that same setup is not going to work for us. If you see where that little paint is missing from the center of it, that's the end of the lock hitting it. So we got to be able to, we can't just put a tab on it down and drill a hole and be good. We have to be able to back this whole assembly up. And I don't know if I want anything kind of sticking out of there. I mean, you could always put like the nut on it and let it protrude further out. But let's go look at that real quick and see if there's a way for us to shorten that up. See that distance right there? That's not the same as it is on the other one. And I don't know what we have back here to work with. Can we push that one further that direction? Looks like it's not much room between that metal plate and the back. Plus they have a rivet. Looks like it makes it stop. Yeah, there's a rivet there that stops it from traveling that way any further. Alright, so I'm going to kind of work on that. Worst case, we're going to have to... Can we cut the rod and put like a... I want to have a coupler of some sort that I could put in between there and take like a 1/4 inch out of that rod. So that rod is that wide. I would say if we find something that screw can go into, they make these couplers for electrical connections. You stick a heavy wire in each side, and it's got 2 set screws. You can run down into it. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Let's go take a jaunt to the hardware store. And I say we go for something not too big. There you go. The reflection off of it, like that. That should do it. Off with your head. about 3/8 of an inch. The hole doesn't go all the way through, so we may have to take a little more out of it. Let's just go see. I thought it would have been all the way past it, you know. Gonna get in there. Oh, it's out of there. Something like that. Yeah. Gives us infinite adjustment too. So that one's facing down. Let's do the same on this one. We should probably turn that tumbler too, so that this is the locked position, but we'll do it so that we flip it around so that, like, if there's something in the drawer, it doesn't catch on it. Let's see what that does for us. A little tighter. So we could tweak that once we get the lock set up in there. We got plenty of room. I don't know if you can see over to this side. We got plenty of room yet still to go this way. That's the motion we need to have to do. So like that would be the drawers open position, and like that is the locked. All right, let's go work on the lock assembly and see if we have enough room, or I may have to take a little bit more out of that. Okay, so I got the lock from the other side. We're gonna make a copy of it, but I'm just gonna see if that'll work for us. Looks pretty good right there. And then we'll be able to put the clip on like I talked about earlier. So I'm going to make another lock that looks just like that one. Yeah, we'll see how that works for us. Alright, just leave that one in there. Make one for the other one, right? Guess we can cut it out of that tab. We need to make one match. So let's go with... drill a hole there, and we can get rid of that. So that looks pretty good. We got the notch coupler in there. I did spread it out a little bit just to favor the rod this way, but we take the key out, turn it back the other way. I didn't run this all the way in yet in case we need to take it apart. Let's get a drawer set up and we'll just make sure that it locks and unlocks correctly. And then at the end, you can see I ground some notches in to hold that, but getting that across and then try to removing it is on the tight side. So we'll make sure it's good before we do so. I like how they have the little cheater windows down below too. Like this one's missing the plate, but the other one has the plate with a spring over it. And if you have to get into your toolbox, you reach underneath, you can push that up and it will unlock the drawers. Let's take a quick peek at these rails. See if there's anything that needs to be addressed other than cleaning them. The other one I had to do some bending to get them straightened out. This one I think because the drawers are shorter, you know, across, didn't get beat up as much. A couple of them were missing the tabs on the other one. I had to go put some screws in there to make it for the stop. So I'm gonna go, yeah, there's that one right there. It needs a little, we'll just throw a screw in there. The tab's busted off. What happens is the whole side of the drawer, because that happens, the whole side of the drawer is able to come out and slide. The slide racks and then it gets bent. So we'll pick that out of there and I'll just put a set screw in the middle of it. Probably pick the best two that are left over. You can see the bend that's on this one. Let's see if we can put in the vise and influence that out of it. Plus it's kind of spread out too, the gap on it. I don't know how well these are gonna want to play. I don't know if we should it's kind of like an even one across it. What if we just stick it in a roller? Knock each other again. It's better. She's got like a bit of a zigzag. Actually, both of them do. You can see how much this one's spread out up on top. Let's see if we can crush that a little. Should make like a gauge. Now it just springs back pretty much. Rather have it a little too tight than a little too loose. Yeah, look at this, how closed up that is. So I'm going to work on that all the way around. We're going to see if we can kind of finish these up a little bit better so that they do what they're supposed to do. So I think I found on the other one was I tried using a really fine, good quality grease, and it was too boggy. Like it really had a drag to it. And I ended up, garage door opener seemed to be the correct, lube of sorts for it. Get you all set up here. So these little tabs are what flip over that. We made that special tool for them. Let's see how we fit. Get around past it, and then now that can't pull out. Let's go do the same on the other side and try sliding the drawer in. And we run that in, both of them should click. It's locked. Oh, good. Make sure they don't fall out. The other ones move much smoother. Gotta take the key out to keep it up. So I'm going to work on that, maybe spray some more. Probably should have cleaned those tracks a little bit better. I don't know if I cleaned the ones on the toolbox itself. You can kind of hear it. Right there it's good. Get better. How about a little more lube? Probably doesn't attract dirt as much too as the oil would. Alright, we're going to work on the rest of them and do a better job cleaning it. I'm going to go clean the rest of the tracks. That's got 4 drawers of the large ones done. This is the last track I'm going to put in. Of course, I picked the best ones until you got nothing else left to work with. Let's see if we can. I don't know if the vise is. Yeah, the vise is slightly fatter. Kind of what we not want. I'll try to get that bow out of there without. Can we beat on it? I know I'm going to flatten the edges out. The channels, but maybe we'll fix them later. Let's see if we can maybe find something that'll fit within there. I'm not crushing the crap out of that. Let's go with that. Too bad I don't have a hammer that fits that width. I don't. Let's try using the other end of it and kind of picking at it. Is that doing anything? I think we just got to try to lean it and bend it. Felt a kink. Got a letter Z in it, but I don't know what it was. Let's put this in the vise and work on trying to get the lip straight. It looks like it's fairly straight. Down the center of it. Much better than what it was anyway. Yeah, let's try jamming a piece of metal in it. See if we can kind of influence a straight track. Gotta beat on it a little while we're doing that too, right? I don't know if we put some pressure on that. Getting there. I'm going to keep working on that. I can get two nice straight lines going across. Now this one's probably got the weirdest end setup on it. So it's missing the rivet and it's missing the, the little spring tensioned stop that you're allowed to go click in there. It's got a bow to it. Oh yeah, it's missing that piece. Oh sheesh. Split wide open. I think I'm going to start doing my best to kind of bend it back into shape. What's been working good is I've been taking this hunk of steel and I've been kind of tapping it down on that and then crushing the whole thing in the vise. Is good for getting like some of the waviness out of it, like that, like chasing that stuff. Got it pretty good. And then as far as like getting the bow out of it, I've been laying it down, a piece of metal down below, lay a rag over it and been hitting it, put it on a flat edge, keep flipping it back and forth till I get it laying straight. That seems to be most of the bind. Not so much to curve that way, but if it's got a curve like that, that's where it locks the drawer up. That I found out. So I'm thinking maybe we could take like a feeler gauge or something. Good luck trying to drill it though. And we got to create something like that. I can probably just put a rivet in it. Go see what we make out. Oh yeah. So we just need to make it so that when it travels over that, it can't back up. Of course, the inner one we're going to leave alone because that one's hard to get to. But this one we could actually kind of see when the drawer's pulled out. And I wonder if we can, maybe we'll put like a rivet in there or a rivet with a washer behind it so the head of the rivet can go. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And the whole thing gets squeezed together. Still opened up some because of the no rivet being there. I'm going to go hammer those edges flat a little bit. I'm thinking that, I think if I try doing a feeler gauge and all that to try to drill it and get it, unless I get like a super thick gauge, I think it's going to want to curl up on us. My only thing I'm thinking of also is it'll be a slightly different stop from the other side. So the other side stops right there, right? Which is how far past that hole? Pretty far, huh? Yeah, we're going to need something like right there. Maybe we'll drill a hole in it and put a rivet in this location. I'm going to figure out how far forward that is and mark it there. We can even just do like a little bit of weld. Once we get it past it, it's fine. You know, we can still take the drawer out from the inner one. I don't know. Let's see if that's enough of a speed bump. We just got to be able to get it past it the first click though. We should be able to use that guide tool. See if we can get it, like lay that over it. Actually, it'd be like that. We get it fed on the drawer. We'll be okay. And we just need it to fit past that tab. See if we can give it a little speed ramp. I'll go with that. Even slides. All right, let's get that last drawer in. All right, let's give her a trial run. This should be the worst one, which isn't bad. These bottom one's got some drag on it too. But again, for being the crappy slides, let's lock it. See. All right. Good. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and tap that clip in the rest of the way. Now that that drawer is installed, that I can't get out. Might be able to get it with my fingers. Yeah, I'll be able to get it. So that can leave that one permanent. What do you want to do next? We can, I got bling for it, and we got the top. Let's leave the bling for last. Let's, a vise would be probably really good, and that's why these two drawers are still out. I can put that lock back in too. We can, I'd like to put a vise on the end of it, and they had one here before, a huge bolt pattern on. Let me go scrounge around, see what I have. I think I have two of them here. I have this one, but that's kind of like stupid overkill. That is, I'll give you an idea of the size wise. That, and that's probably weighs 100 pounds. Yeah, that's too much for that. Have any name or number on it? Let me know if you guys want to see a vise restoration video. Yeah, let's go see what else we got. And this one, scale-wise, looks much better. Of course, the bolt pattern is too small. Is that? It's like an older Craftsman, made in USA. And it's got the swiveling base, which is nice. Let's go throw that one up there. So, should probably pick a hole. Pick a hole. I want that right around there. Still have to drill 3 other ones, but I'm thinking, what's its rotation? I think as long as we can get it so that it clears the front edge of the toolbox, which I think we're right on the money. So if we have something, and we'll work with a piece of metal or something, we can clear the box. We're not trying to compete with this surface. Actually, the handle's going to be here though, huh? Rotate it to the front. I don't think we're going to be able to use any of the holes over though. We would need to be something like that. And the thing is, there's like a little frame underneath it. I'm not sure if we'll be punching through. Oh, we are going to need a light. Let's see. Can you see? See all the frameage though, it's in the way? Unless we can get in between. Yeah. There's like a channel in here though. Let's go throw that handle on there. See if we remember how that went. I think it was like 2 halves. I think this bolted on with some spacers. Let me get the sign to put on there. And then those 4 bolts went through, and I think it was bolted from the inside. So I think it went through like that. That bolted to the box, and then when we're done, this capped on over the top of it. I think we have ends for it, right? There's 1. Yeah, and there's the other. I mean, go take care of that. We'll get that out of the way. I'm gonna go polish these up. Oh, we got it. Go over or under? I would say it goes in it, right? It's in it now. I got that on there. So we can't go any further that way because there's a frame that comes up, and there's a frame here where I got this hole that we're kind of using, and I can't go any further this way. So I really think that, other than if we put like a big wooden top on it and attach it to the top, I don't see us being able to do much better than that. And even with that, the jaw's not even past the edge of the box. The handle all the way in just clears, and if we rotate it, everything clears all the way in. So I guess we just live with that. Let's go mark some holes out with a Sharpie. Again, we're going to use that one over, and we'll zap a couple of those, and I'll do some drilling and get that bolted on. Thing's gonna be a piece of Swiss cheese by the time it's done. But we can always maybe put a piece of wood underneath it too if we find that it's kind of flimsy. You know, if the vise wants to move around a lot. Them's the holes. This one right here is on there's a double rail going this way. Maybe actually not be that bad though, because it might actually help with the strength of the vise. There's a bar welded. You see the spot welds right there. I say we go with these. They'll kind of center themselves in the hole, and they won't be in the way. This is more of a flush look. Plus, if there's any slight adjustment it needs, it can kind of walk around. Go find some nuts. Well, before we permanently bolt the vise down, I'd rather have whatever we're going to put on top, and then the vise bolted through it. Might be a better, fit. We can always kind of cut around the vise if we have to, but I'm thinking, I don't know, a decent work surface. I have this rubber mat, which is about, I don't know, maybe 3/8 thick. It's decent. Problem is, if oil gets on it, it swells up and does that. Gets like a hemorrhoid in the middle of it. So that may or may not be good. But while I was at Home Depot getting our little coupler there, I grabbed something. I grabbed a floor mat. I think because the other part of it too is if it's a little in from the lip, if it sits down a little on the lip, it'll keep stuff from like rolling off. Plus, I think it's a fairly decent surface to work on. I don't know about cleaning it and all, but I figure you wipe your feet on it enough, right? Plus they're cheap. If we make one, we'll have a pattern. I'm kind of wondering if the thing is also trying to cut a straight line. I don't know if we should leave the lip on it. You know, if we were to do something like that, or do we just kind of like cut right into the fabric? Either way, we're going to have an unfinished edge going around. Let's go shove it in the shear about maybe an inch or so. We'll see what kind of, if it'll cut it. I don't think it's going to, but don't know until we try. This is what's called the jump shear, meant for metal. And what's nice about it, it gives a nice straight line. Let's curl this up a little bit so it's not so much flopping around. And you can square up the edges to the sides here, there and there. But I don't know, I kind of doubt it's going to work. Let's go give ourselves, I mean, we've got room to play with it anyway. Let's just see what happens. Think it worked? Oh yeah, good. Good. We'll be able to get a nice square cut on it then. Let's go, I'm going to go cut the length of it first, and then we'll try to go side to side. Well, it seemed like a good plan. So if I square this edge up, then I look down the cut that we just made, you can see it rolls off to one side. It gets fatter as it goes along. Here's the piece that we cut off. And I think what happened was it walked. It pulled the fabric as it kind of went along. I'm going to try it one more time and see if I get a square cut on it. Like I said, I still have, you know, that much room to play with, so we can give it a couple of slices. Possibly it was off a little, but I think what happened is as it's getting cut, that knife kind of comes down on an angle like this, and while it was doing it, I think it was turning the fabric. So this time I flipped it over and like held on this side, because there's like a pawl that comes down, holds the material when the cut comes, just so it doesn't move. But again, it's made for metal, it's not made for cloth. And that's pretty much a straight line. And that is not. I know I'm getting kind of picky, but you know, if we were to butt that up, you can see the gap from touching pretty much there to at least a ½ inch on that side. Scissors, big scissors. I wonder if we can like lay it over the top of it and take like a ball peen hammer, like you're making a gasket, and tap it. I'm gonna go try that, see if it'll leave like a little bit of an imprint. No. Well, that. I think our best bet is going to be just to try to measure it out and mark it with a square, probably a piece of chalk on the backside. This way is easy because we got ribs to kind of go by. I'm just going right in between two of the grooves. That'll give us a straight line. I could do the other one. I'll get it to fit the width first. Actually, it worked out pretty good because we were able to use the corduroy of it to cut a straight line, which we got decent square. And then on the other end, I just cut the smooth flap off, gave us a straight cut there. But the hardest one is to come. I gotta get that one decent. I was thinking about trying to like mark it from the back side with something, but I don't want to mark up the side of the toolbox, plus the handle's in the way. Whose bright idea was to put that handle on? Yeah, I may just lay something right across it and try marking it. Right there. Oh yeah, daddy. That feels good. Now we got a pattern too. I could have done it with cardboard, but I don't have a piece that's big enough. That worked out. I like it. Let's go mark where those holes are. I'll punch some holes for the vise. You just need to see if I can stab myself. So, probably just do square holes, right? I don't have to get fancy. Come on. Right, do it. And you pull one of the threads and it does that run. Hey, you ready for some bling? Well, we put some chrome on the edges of each drawer. Make them all snazzy like. This stuff I think has glue in it. This is what goes on the edges of a door, so you don't ding a door on the side of it. Like a plastic, extruded plastic with, again, like a glue in it. Plus I think they had it from the factory anyway. Is there a little thing that we can tear open? A seal meal. I'm gonna get the knife. I threatened you. Fine. Scissors. Let's see what we got for a profile. It's not super large, but watch it not even open. Sealed all the way around. Yeah, so let's go take a piece of this and we'll experiment. We'll see how it does. I don't know, cut about that much off. See if we can get that on the edge of a drawer. I can see the glue. Yeah, there's the glue down in the center of it. So let's go try one. Not destroy it like that. Do you think we should cut the end like flush, or do you think we should cut it maybe on an angle? There's a roll to them. Let's go like that. See if we can get it started. This stuff's been sitting in the package too long. What do you think right about there? Once we get it, we should be able to just walk it right down. That looks pretty good, huh? But just enough of a reveal. Plus, it's probably easier on your hands. Let's cut it like an inch longer so we're not fighting the whole roll as it's untwisting. Let's go for like until we figure out our battle plan, you know. Get you kicking a little bit that way. I wonder if over temperature the stuff expands and contracts. Same thing with the rubber top. We'll go and look at it in the summertime and the thing will be like a bubble in the middle of it. So let's go with what do you think? I like it. It's got to kind of get worked into the glue though a little bit. It's a little uneven. Good. I'm going to go do that. So like, what do we got? Like 14 drawers? That'll take a minute. That made a big difference. I got, see down to about the third drawer over here. And when they would start it, they were starting to curl on here. As the roll got smaller and smaller and got tighter. So I started a new roll up and they seem like they're getting better. I'm going to let it sit overnight and let it try to like uncurl itself. And maybe even hit it with a heat gun. I think they'll lay up. They'll lay up a little bit better. This is the where I stopped. You can see this one really. Not that it's all that big of a deal to change. Just rip it off and put a new one on. So we are almost done, except for one thing. And that. Let's go clean the badge up. Let's try not painting the background first and see if it needs it. A little scuff right there, but do a little bit of a little wet sanding on the standout part. Working? Oh yeah. I'll keep doing that till we get a nice bright color going all the way across it. Looks pretty good. Kind of like the hood ornament going on. All right. Could have used a little more. Well, overall, I am pretty happy with how it came out. It looks like to be a nice setup for me. You know, to compare it to stuff that's today, it's I don't know what you want to compare it to, but again, not having like, you know, roller slides and all, but in its day, this was top of the food chain. You really put the money out on the Snap-on truck for this thing. And kind of, that's around, I said like 1978 is when I started, 78, 79. I started working in a garage, and you know, the full-time mechanic next to me had a toolbox, you know, similar to this, and I was always in awe. And I couldn't afford this one, but I got the Mac toolbox, which was quite nice also. But during hard times, I had to get rid of it. And it moved on. Actually, I think it went from the Mac toolbox to a Snap-on toolbox, and then had to get rid of it. Something like that. And so here it is, reliving my youth in a toolbox. Came out really nice. I'm glad that I put the effort into it to bring it back. Now I'm gonna go beat the crap out of it by using it, but that's all right. It's easy to touch up. We already got the spray bomb paints to go and clean it. Plus we got the top. If I want to go make a new one, I already got a pattern for it. Just trace it and cut it. Not awesome. And drawers work much better than I expected. You know, they all, who knows, we got wait and see when we put weight in them, but they move quite decent. I'm not much on putting the mats on the inside of them. They always seem to cause me more issues than good. Plus I like to glue down the tracks for wrenches. Probably showed you this, you know, when I first was filming, but like, let's go pick the wrench drawer. You know, I like doing that, putting the wrenches on the little racks and setting them up and having them displayed on there. And you can't really do that with that canvas in there. So, well, that moved much easier, huh? I did this toolbox too. Like I said, I went through, and when I first got it, I think it was like a tan color, and I tore it all apart and painted all the drawers and took all the handles and everything off of it. And again, about 25, 30 years later, that's what this one looks like. So we'll see how if I can make this one live a little bit nicer life. But it's all right. It's a toolbox, right? Came out awesome. I like it. What do you do? Any things I may tweak on later? Again, we'll see. I'll see tomorrow how those strips kind of adhere themselves. I may put a little bit of heat to them just to get rid of that little curl. This side doesn't look as bad. There's that one, like right there. You can see it wants to kind of dip down a little. Probably wouldn't hurt putting it in the sun a little bit too. All right, guys, my battery's flashing on the camera. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. Have a little bit of fun, bringing back memories and old metal. And it will serve me well. All right, guys. With that, I thank you all for hanging out. And we'll get together on the probably the skid steer again very soon. Till then, later. Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, I was out yard sailing last week, and I came across a house that was cleaning up. He was a small engine mechanic, and he was kind of cleaning up his shop, retiring, and he was in the process of emptying this toolbox out that was in the corner of his garage and putting stuff out on tarps outside. I asked him what he was going to do with the toolbox. He said that's going to go up for sale also. And I took a better look at it. It was a snap-on toolbox. I think they call these an airport box, hence the fact that you wouldn't kind of stuff it against the wall because you wouldn't have access to the other drawers, and there's a cabinet on the back side over here. And it's got decent wheels on it with like suspension, it looks like, goes on them. And the idea why they call, I guess they call them an airport toolbox, is that at an airport you don't bring the plane to the toolbox, you kind of bring your toolbox to where the plane is, for obvious obvious reasons. And so I said, sure, I would like to grab that. It's got a little decal on it right there. 1920 to 1980, I think is what it says. So I would guess the date of it is a 1980. So it's going to make it about 44 years old. It's got a bunch of issues. None of the drawers, half the drawers, are kind of bound up, don't slide, jammed where they are. Like where these are stuck out, they are stuck out there for a reason. This stuff is falling apart on them. The strips are all busted out of them. And yeah, it's missing keys. Somebody punched a lock on that one. This one is in the open position, but there's, again, no key for it. And then it has a little storage area back here, a little cabinet that is locked, but does not have a key also. So who knows if there's anything in there? Probably not. He had it stored against the wall, so that cabinet wasn't being used. Well, I'd like to be able to put it back to use as something that can roll around instead of me always having to huff stuff from, the shop is fairly decent size, from over there where my toolbox is to either outside the door or over here or wherever. So paid $100 for it. I think is a steal. Hopefully we'll find out as we get into it, but I'm going to do like I don't even want to call it amateur restoration, but kind of want to go through it, repair everything before I start filling it with tools, and see how that goes for us. Looks like I had a vise mounted, or a couple of vices mounted on it at one time. I'm going to look and see if I have one to go do the same, but I kind of want to clean it all up, maybe paint it, and bring her back to her former glory. Let's go move it over to the other section where the work area is and start disassembling it and see what we got. Maybe there's a prize inside that back corner. Doubt it.